Okay, so welcome everybody. So we're going to have a look through a spreadsheet. We need to do it for a level 2 ICT test. So ultimately this is where we're going to be going with this, again, keeping it plain and simple. And what it's doing is it's bringing in information from tasks that we've actually previously done as part of the test. Now, a certain amount of creativity will have to actually go on with this, okay. So we will talk through this. So this is our example here, okay. So what I just need to do is set up a new PowerPoint so we can actually start with this. So I'm just going to set that up now. I'm just going to move the old one out of the way here, okay, because we don't need that for the moment over on screen. And I'm going to start setting up my presentation. So we can actually have the normal slides. We don't need to start changing size, so that's a nice little one with this one. What I suggest you straight away is that you actually get your header and footer into it straight away, okay. So we'll just do that, and we'll go to insert, and I'll go header, footer, and I put my name in because you're going to need that. And what you do in this occasion is actually tick apply to all, alright. And now going forward, all slides will have your name at the bottom. So we've been given some text to actually work with, okay. So I've got that all on my other screen over here at the moment. And this is the text that we have, okay, we've been given this. So as you can see, it's not a lot to go on, alright. So let's work out where we're going to go. Well, first of all, we're going to need to have a title slide. So I'm just going to do a text box, okay. And we're going to call it Healthy Student Campaign. Okay. Now what I'm doing with that is I'm just going to draw the text box all the way across. Now why am I doing that? Well, I'm going to want to centre this in a moment. If I have it like this, yes, it's good, but it's trying to get it exact. However, if I make sure that goes from one side to t'other, I know I'm going to get that exactly in the middle. I just want to make that look a little bit more imposing. So that's what we've done there, Healthy Student Campaign. And what we can also do is just alter this a little bit, give it more presence. So I can do that. And you see me do this on other presentations I've done, is I now put a bracket across. We can make this a lot more colourful and vibrant if we want to, but again, the purpose of what we're doing here is we're just actually proceeding through the test. So we just need to demonstrate you know how to use PowerPoint. So I now need to create another slide. To do so, I go to new slide, like so. And if I go to blank, a new slide is put underneath. So we have our information we want here. So again, as you see me do in previous PowerPoint, so what I'm doing is I'm going to bring everything across like so. So we'll make that just a little bit larger. Now I just noticed here we were in Calibri, and what I'm bringing across is in Arial. So save changing everything, we will put everything directly into Arial. There we go. So we're keeping the same across. That's 36. So why don't we actually make that 36 as well? Okay. Make that bold. Make that head a bit into the colour there. And make that white. So we've got black and white again, okay. So it's standing out. I can then bring across what I want from here. Copy. Paste. Now, what you could do here is this. Perhaps make it just a little bit bigger, a little bit bolder. And what I'd suggest you do is the points there. Why not bullet point them like so? There we go. And if you keep it up to the side like that, you're going to make sure your alignment's as it needs to be, which is good. Okay, so we now need to do another slide, and this is going to relate to weekly exercise, okay? So we've got to bring in the information. How do I know that? Because it's talking about bringing the graph in from task 2A. So before we go any further, let's do that. So again, I'm going to create a new slide, like so. Relationship. So what I'm doing is I'm actually going to copy and paste that across, okay? relationship of BMI to hours of weekly exercise. There we go. So where am I going to get this graph from? Well, in the test previously, a graph was done, like so, as part of a spreadsheet. So all I actually need to do now is copy and paste that across. Right, when this comes up, normally you could take advantage and look through and use this. However, do not do this in the test. It is forbidden. Do not do it, because you've got to show your own ideas. So if that happens, you just ignore it and shut it down. There we go. So there we go. There's our graph in. Nicely all done. So we've got that part in. So what we've got to look at next? Well, the next thing we need to start looking at really is going to be lunchtime beginners classes, who, what, where and when, which is this part here. So this is actually quite useful because it's giving us our little guide. So I'm creating a slide again. I'm copy and pasting our banner across. And what we can do, let's try this. Let's see if we can copy and paste that straight in. There we go. So what I'm doing is that I'm just hovering over until it actually copies out to what we want. Okay, so we've got an extra in there, taking it out. Okay. So what I now need to do is go back to another spreadsheet that we've done. And we have in there this, lunchtime for beginners. Now we had to do a filter and sort on this one to make that happen. So then all I need to do is highlight, right click, copy. We'll just move that back out of the way again because we don't need that for the moment. Okay. And then I can paste that in like so, and it comes in. Again, that comes up, avoid temptation, remove it straight away. Okay. So there we go. That's the classes bit. That's all done. So we're now looking at the next slide along, healthy diet. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take a pause here and save this. Okay. So what we'll do is I'm just going to put this in here. Okay. So sample. Okay. How I say what we're going to call it? Exercise presentation. Let's call it exercise presentation. Exercise presentation. That will do. So I'm going to save that. Okay. Let me do it because I'm actually doing a few demonstrations of this at the moment. So what I'll do is I'm just going to put that into a folder. Now note how I'm actually creating a folder here because that is useful for you. Okay. Demo. Exercise presentation. Gone. There we go. So we now need to bring in healthy diet. So, new slide. And again, I'm using this as my guide. So again, go back. Let's copy and paste and bring this across. Right. Into there. There we go, and I'm just going to go hover through until I find what I want. Okay, for some reason that's adding an extra E in at the moment, so we'll just delete it out, not a problem. Then I'm going to just copy and paste this text across, like thus, which will put it there. Open it all the way up. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll just space this out. Now again, you can see what I'm doing by bringing it across like this. I'm starting to work out what my spacings are, which I've shown you in previous presentations that we've done. Make that bold, make that a little bigger, just move that up, move that there. In fact, what I could do is just do that, do some format paintering, there we go. I'll make sure it's the right size. There you go, got that in there. And then I can do just slightly over that side, that's fine. And then what I can do is I can do my bullet points in there. Okay, so that's my next slide done. So I've got one more to do, which is recommend daily intake for teenagers. Okay, part of this test didn't actually involve completing or doing an internet search, finding out some information. Okay, which involved bringing in a graph which you'd found on the internet. Okay, so I've got that pre-saved. So all I'm doing is I'm copy and pasting that out of a document I've pre-prepared earlier, which is the internet search. I'm just going to copy, paste, bring that across, and we're going to do recommended data intake for teenagers. And then what we'll do is we will, when it lets me do it, copy, there we go. I'll just remove what I don't need. There we go, done. Okay, so it's been a little bit awkward, doesn't matter. Teenagers, we'll just do that. And I'm going to bring in, just to create another text box, here we go. So let me just do this, copy, paste. Okay, so that's be a little bit more cooperative there, not as awkward as the top one was. I could put centre. We can perhaps make the text a little bit bigger, we can make it a little bit bolder. We can do the fill bit that we want to do. We can put that text into white. Okay, it's not quite done what I wanted there, not a problem. There we go. Just go and revisit, happens. Okay, and then what we had was a graph or some information we had to pull out from internet as part of one of the other tasks. And again, this is where you'll find that all the tasks at some point will come together potentially at something at the end, which is a presentation here. And then all I'm doing is just copying, pasting that across. Let me just remove that out of the way. Again, don't get tempted by this. Remove temptation straight away. Okay, so we just need then to tidy up. There we go. So here we have, let's just have a quick look. So we've got the graph. We've got the appropriate details, which we did here, which would have been task B of this specific test. Got the information, and we've got what we need here. Right, so let me just save that. And what we'll do is we'll just take a couple of moments, just check it looks neat and tidy. That's fine. That'll do. That'll do. That will do. That'll do. That will do. And that will do. Okay. One point. We've been asked to produce a handout of the slides that Mel gives the Student Council. File. Print. What you can then do is produce handouts and print them off. Okay. So that is how you would achieve that one. What I would imagine is potentially they're going to want you to do a screenshot of that. Okay, so if that is the case, right, let's work out how we can do that quickly off the cuff here. So I'm just going to do this, right. Make sure I've got everything else out of the way that I don't want. That can come out for the moment. Okay. And then what I can do is I'll go to my snip tool, which is going to be in my Windows accessories area. Here we go, snip and sketch, new. Actually, we don't want it quite like that. Let me just move that out of the way, okay. And then what we can do is I'll just reactivate that very quickly, new, and then we can just do that. Okay, I can then bring this back in like thus, do that, there we go. And then what I can do is just insert in the footer my name, what stage name it may be, in like thus. Okay, when my computer catches up. Okay, let's just do that. Okay, the computer's been a bit slow here, doesn't matter. Okay, let's just take that down. We'll bring that document back up again. Here we go. It's just disappeared off my screen for a moment, and there we are. That's all done. Then just make sure that's saved locally. So there we go. There's an example quickly of a presentation there.